students and faculty interested in learning about generative AI. We sincerely thank our HOD, Dr. Gajanan Nagre sir, our convener, Professor Geeta Narayanan ma'am, and Professor Suvarna Udgire ma'am, and all faculty members for their support in organizing this workshop. Well, generative artificial intelligence or Gen AI is an important and fast growing technology used across industries for automation, content creation, and smart decision making. We are honored to have with us Mr. Bhaskar Jha, Associate System Engineer at Tata Consultancy Services, TCS. Mr. Bhaskar is an AI enthusiast with experience in generative AI, machine learning, and data science. He holds a BTech degree in mechanical engineering and certifications in generative AI, responsible AI, and large language models. At TCS, he works on full stack web development and also serves as a Scrum Master, guiding multiple teams. He is also the founder of an e commerce setup called ENM, which reflects his passion for innovation and technology. We are delighted to have him with us today to guide us through the world of generative AI. Now, without further delay, I invite Mr. Bhaskar Jha to begin today's session. Sir, the platform is all yours.
Thanks a lot, Bhagyasri. I think that was too good introduction. Even I could not think about myself that much. So, should we means whoever organizer with whom I can interact on regular basis in the meeting for any issue or anything I need to convey or talk or just get update? Can I get to know? Is it you, Bhagyasri, or someone else? Like for the meeting, let's say that we have to check chat and stuff. So to make it interactive, sort of.
Yes, you can speak to any one of us, Bhaskar.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Okay.
speak to Bhagyashri as well as Manasvi or myself also. I will be available throughout the session. It
All
is
right.
okay. You can speak to us. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, all right, got it. So, what is the like strength we are looking? Should we wait because approximately 30 attendees are here. So, should we wait few minutes or should we start like?
Maybe we can start because already it is 2 minutes over, and
Mm-hmm.
I have kept this meeting on the this thing record mode. So whoever
Mm-hmm.
misses the part, they can later on they can view that.
True. Sounds good. So, whoever is present, like among all the 30 attendees who are here, I would request you to make it a little bit interactive because hands-on by word itself mean that you will be trying things, you will be interacting, you will be checking that is it working or not. If you are facing issue, you will be asking the questions, showing the errors and stuff. So try to be interactive. That way you will also learn something. Although I have tried to keep it that even if some of us are shy to engage, we can still proceed and can later watch the recordings and can try to replicate the results and stuff. But still, your interaction and everything will be much valuable and it will be much more better session, better quality wise and better for you in terms of the concepts you learn and everything. So first question to me, all of you, all the attendees who are present here, is that can you just note down your in the chat, just give your experience level on the hands-on in Gen AI. Are you like consider yourself beginner level? Are you like consider the pro or legend sort of who plays on the local LLMs, fine tuning, beat various models, or is it like you consider that I'm just getting into because as we know the bio side also biomedical side also semester students are here. So are you guys just exploring the Gen AI space and thinking how can we embed that into the our life or our works? So what is your expertise level? Can you just type in the chat box? That will give me clarity on how depth or how overall over the top I need to keep the sessions. Okay. So yeah, one more thing, those who are really expert or those who are advanced or those know things, because When Sneha ma'am had told me there are some groups who already have tried to do these sort of things, try to work on these sort of things, they can do one thing is that they can help others if they have any question. As someone Aryan had said that he's itinerary generator, also a LLM counsel in a hackathon. That sounds good. You can help others, Aryan, and others who are really expert. If any question comes in chat and I'm in middle, I can't see, because that way interaction can go on in the chat. So one thing, if you all have laptop, as I had already informed that you guys should have laptop, good internet connection, just keep the Google Colab open. Means go to Google Colab, collab.research.google.com, open it, and you will have an option where you can directly create a new notebook. So just ensure you are able to create a new notebook. Just click create a new notebook and you should be able to create. Hmm. So Sasank, we will go into how we can integrate computer vision applications. This particular topic perhaps in the next workshop, but yeah, we will. That's one of the, in the multimodality space, that's one of the main target in the RAG pipeline as well. So just ensure all of you who are present here, you are able to open google.research.colab.com, means collab.research.google.com, and create a new notebook. It's as simple as that. Just click the new notebook. Those who are familiar with the notebook, you will have a Jupyter notebook kind of terminal opened. It's hosted on the Google Colab environment. That's why we have like this server and everything provided by Google. That's why it's called Google Research, means Google Colab notebook. So notebook, for those of you who are not familiar with the notebook, I will just give a little bit brief, like 2 minutes of brief. What is notebook, how we use it, and what is Google Colab notebook, what we do with it. So Jupyter notebook is a environment or is a IDE, we can say, some sort of, where we try to code in a way where we call that thing as a REPL kind of thing. We read or we write the code, we evaluate the code in a cell basis, we get the output, we go to the next one. Like if I want, I can just type it print and then hello world. But now it is not connected to any particular runtime environment. So I will click connect here. There are multiple ways to connect with a hosted runtime environment, which I might have, or local runtime environment. But I will just connect with the Google provided option. Just click connect and it will connect to the default option, which will consist of the Python runtime environment. And we will see it has got connected. Now, since it's a runtime environment, or basically we can consider it as a virtual environment for ourselves to run things. So we have RAM, we have disk applicable to storage, the storage in which we can load our model, we can run our model. System RAM, in which for inference or any particular thing, the things will get loaded. Disk is for storage purpose. And here, now in the resource also, here also you can check what particular things are using. If you see, there is in the left section, there is table of content, which takes care of markdown table of content. Then we have a search to replace it. Then we have data inspector, code snippets, but along with it, we have a, uh, let me show you. Here we have a manage sessions. So if we will go into the manage session, we can see that this particular session we are running untitled one. Then there is a resource section as well. Let me show you. So in the resource section, what we can do is, if I want to manage my resource or I want to change my resource, that we can do. And what is change my resource or manage my resource? Currently, we are using which one? We are using CPU one. We are not using the GPU one. Why we are not using GPU one? Because we can do our particular this one in the CPU also. So that's why we are using the CPU one. But if we want, we can go to the GPU one. As we know, GenAI is a lot effective on the GPU. Why it is a lot effective? Because all the generative AI application involve a lot of matrix operations. And what is matrix operation? Basically linear algebra concepts and all. And matrix operations are very simple operations which can be performed on GPUs as well. And since GPU support parallel processing, they can do a lot faster things. So CPU is for what? Complex operations which are sequential in nature, and TPUs are great at uh, parallel processing, especially of simple operations, just like a rendering of our screen, whichever screen you are seeing on your smartphone or be it laptop, that is getting rendered by the GPU. So these are types of GPU, T4 GPU, other types of GPU. If I want, I will have to pay for it, a 100 GPU and others. Runtime type is, we are as of now running the Python one. I can change it to Julia or others are like, these are considered languages for AI application, especially Julia is different sort of new language. I think 2011 it came up with. R is statistics based, so it is connected with the Python. I just ran it. It ran. This is called cell. Means the block box you are able to see. It's called cell, and cell can be of two type. One is the code cell, as you can see here. Another is markdown cell. Like if I will click text, this will be markdown. Here I can see, let's start, and it will be bold because I have given one pound sign. So let's start session. It will be, see, you can see it is bold, and I can just render it. That's it. This particular will come in the table of content. So like that, a simple sort of interface where we, instead of running a whole Python file, we are kind of doing it snippet wise. Each particular code runs like a independent code in itself, but along with dependency on the upper codes. Let's say I have created variable here, a equal to 5, and then run this particular code cell. If I will do here a, the output will come as a 5 because I have already defined the output in the above one. Just a second, I hope it is connected. Yeah, you can see a as a 5 came. Now generative AI, we, that was a precursor about the Colab environment where we will be working and stuff. Now we are getting into the core nitty gritty thing which we will be learning today. And what has got us excited, what has got us here, all of us, to learn about it, that is Gen AI. Generative AI in the current world is ubiquitous. Means it is omnipresent sort of in each particular application everywhere. I start a new chat box and you all already know, you can even confirm in the chat box that are there any, is there any person who has never used Gen AI or who has never interacted with the chat GPT or AI mode sort of. See, here also we have AI mode. Even if I go here, I type anything, I can press tab enter and it will open as a AI mode, the even the search, the default search. If I was talking about the Colab notebook, you see here, there is already a toggle Gemini where I can ask it to create any particular program and it will write. So for coding, Gen AI is there. For image creation, we already know some trends comes and goes. Like, to give you the idea, although many of you must be already familiar, we have already tweaked, played with Gen AI and stuff. To give you idea, I have classified some of the tools present in market, especially in the Gen AI mod space, and try to give you the magic of it, how it works, what it works. We will jump into little bit 5 minutes later. Till then, so first is multi-model. What we say multi-model, a kind of a platform, or actually multimodal is a word which is generally assigned to models which can process image also, let's say audio also, let's say video also, text also. So those particular models which can, generative models, gen AI models, which can process different types of input or even output different types of output. Means types here mean data types, not in the computer science terms, data types in terms of what we perceive data as, like image, like text, like video, like audio. Audio is a waveform, video is combination of image plus audio waveform. Image is what, pixels of a particular pixels, each pixels having RGB values which are integers and so stuff. Text is what, characters and stuff which consist of words. Each word can be considered token in case. So multi-model is considered a model which can process different types of things. Now if we go to the multi-model apps, we already know multiples are there. ChatGPT is the default one, the first one to break in the AI world, bring the transformation, revolution, whatever you say. It was to November 2022 when ChatGPT 3.5 came out, GPT 3.5 model, and it exploded. I still remember using that particular model first time to generate various things, posting it on LinkedIn and stuff like that. Now, apart from ChatGPT, there is Gemini. Initially, Google was behind. Google was behind in this particular race when ChatGPT exceeded and stuff. But now Google has got to such a level that in many particular thing it is on top. So why ChatGPT I have called multimodal? Because it can process your image also, it can create image also, it can understand image also. It can even do, if you upload a particular audio file, let's say, and it supports the agentic workflow in behind of the platform, it supports it, it will be able to do that also. Same goes on with Google also. It can create image, it can, so there is a streaming option in smartphone Gemini where you can turn on and you can show it a video and you can ask it questions. So that is what, that is video specific as well. What is video? Just frames of images, continuous frames of images, which it has to learn. So then there is deep research. Deep research is kind of a utilization of LLM. So it can be considered a agentic tool or a kind of tool made on top of LLM. There is, in the world of AI or LLM, LLM is considered as a brain of, let's consider AI is a human or a person. Then LLM will be the brain of AI or intelligence we say. Then comes the tools and stuff we built on top of it. Those are considered the hands through which it can act. And then similar, there are other things like infra. Let's say through infra can be considered legs through which it is able to walk or move and stuff like that. Grok is another one. Grok by the XAI we can say, and that is, this is the very new but very fast moving. Like you can see Grok, imagine they are saying that they have upgraded, it is image capable. Multimodal, that's why I kept, because these platforms are not targeted to one particular thing. They can do all sort of thing. Image generation, image understanding, video generation through Gemini, VO 3.1 model and VO 3. We all know that it has, we all see a lot of AI generated videos nowadays on YouTube and others. Then there are image to video, some of the models which are targeted towards image to video only. So before going to that, let's little bit follow this particular collab notebook basically, which I had created. We see this running, although I not showed. I had just shown what it can do. Running is simply shift enter for the shortcut. If you don't want to use shortcut, play the display icon. Then going below, checkpoints are how, where we are. It's kind of a version control system in this particular notebook. So collab notebook, are you guys, can you guys confirm me that are you guys trying to hands on along with me, or is it that you are just learning so that I can follow a same approach and I can keep on asking from you guys how many did it, how many not, and stuff like that? Can you guys confirm in the chat that are you guys trying to do with it? Then I can share this particular notebooks link with it, which you can copy just now. Means make a duplicate of it and then you can run for yourself. Can you guys confirm, anyone in the chat? Yes, great. Trying along with you. So that is so good thing, because this particular one, along with little bit of understanding, means along with little bit, I will say GPT-2 model, which was even in your syllabus first one, I have tried to keep it understanding wise or top level wise. You guys can even ask the question. I'm following the chat, and you can ask any particular question, give me suggestions in between that what I missed or I should follow or I should explain, that I will go along with you guys, because you guys are following, so it will be better. So I was talking about the multimodal one. We already know. If I want, I can just ask it, create a image where a person is giving a lecture or giving a workshop on Teams to university students. And we know, like, even though I won't click here create image, it will be able to understand create a image, and it will be able to route it to the particular model, which will be able to image creation model. So did you notice that even though I said multi-model, for create image there is separate option and I said route? Why? Because there are two sorts of models. Those model which generate, those are called auto regressive models, which generate text or which understand images but generate text on top of it. Those are called auto regressive models and stuff. So those can give output as a text only. But when I talk about creation of image, generally in current scenario, the best image creation models are always stable diffusion based models and stuff, which denoise the model. So when I give the prompt gets converted into embeddings, and then from that particular embeddings, a noisy image is created. Then the image creation model come into the picture, which tries to denoise the model until the image matches it with the prompt's gist or intent and stuff. I just clicked it and it will start creating image. We all know that it started working. You will see a rectangular box creating image. That's how multimodal works. So going again on the notebook, we will, like, you guys are ready. That's why I asked that you guys are trying with me. Just keep it logged in. I have just shared the notebook with you. Very easy notebook. Any one of you can easily follow it, understand it. If you have any issue, you can ask with it with me. Now going to the image to video. These are the models which are now making a lot of noise or kind of coming a lot in our feed of Instagram, YouTube, and stuff like that. So what is image to video? You upload a particular image and the model will convert into a video. Many support audio as well. Like this is a Alibaba Cloud Model Studio on which I will be showing you the sample of a Chinese model. So Alibaba is a Chinese model. Why I'm showing you the Chinese one? Because most of the USA based have closed source it, the models and stuff. So we can just all only try it from the outside wise. But the Chinese ones have given free inference also. You can try it, the try one, and they have, so you can tweak with it. You can load the model and stuff. In this one you can see that we input a image. This was the input image. We input a audio, we input a prompt. So three sort of input goes into it: image to video for video. And then the what was the prompt? A dynamic graffiti art character, a boy painted with spray, comes to life from concrete wall. He sings an image rap, blah 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 blah, energetic rapper pose, and see the output. Can anyone confirm? Can you listen audio or not? If you can listen audio, that is great. Otherwise, I will have to see that how to. Okay, great. So see, this was the input audio, image was this one, prompt was this one, and the model was able to process three different forms of input. I was saying about multimodal, right? So one input was image being the pixels, one input was audio, waveforms, then prompt, text, and then all three got into a single embedding, and output was a video. So the output came like that. There are other platforms as well. ByteDance. Can anyone say, this is generic question, not related to AI? Which company ByteDance is associated with? Which product? The world famous product. Just say the name. Like, do you guys even remember which is the product the ByteDance is associated with? Worldwide famous product. And regarding India, there is a special cash to it. Just confirm in the chat. Just it will be interactive. We all will learn, earn in a way that we can be interactive and stuff. So if you guys remember or not, TikTok is the company through which ByteDance is associated, and all the companies in China who are top giants are trying to go into the LLM space, creating models, videos, and stuff like that. Be it Alibaba Cloud, ByteDance, even Xiaomi is creating models, great models. So Dream 1.5 Pro is a great model which is associated with video generation. Yeah, great, Suvarna. So video generation, audio generation, and seed dance, basically that is related with video generation, image generation as well. So if you see, all these videos are AI generated, nothing is human generated. Even though this seems realistic, some person coming in explaining that particular gadget, but AI generated. Just we will jump into it. These videos, this is also a these all videos, even though child might seem cute, it is AI generated, not human. Even I can turn in audio and see. So great strides have progressed into image to video, text to video also. Just now I showed you the Alibaba Cloud Model Studio, the same one we had seen, that we had given prompt as well, multi-model. Similarly, you can just give it text input and it will be able to generate video from it. So it's the output. If we would have given an audio a particular input, so you might here feel right, the audio is not that great, it seems robotic and stuff. It means even though it produced great video, but it did not have the LLM model, which was great at audio generation. Not LLM, but LLM is large language model, which is generally associated with auto-regressive models. So text to video, again, see Dream, it can also process the text to image edit. Before going image edit, I will like to show you the audio model, because just now we saw that audio was bad. So you can now generate complete songs with just prompt. You just have to give the prompt of it, what sort of song you want, and it will be able to generate it. So you can see the various genre or various styles of the songs: defunct, val, melodic, atmospheric, grungy, hellish, all sort of. I can write anything. Students, environment to prepare for upcoming exam on Gen AI. I know it's a weird prompt for song generation, but I can give it. So song description I have given, instrumentals if I want I can click it. Any particular thing I can give. Let's say that grungy. I just click every particular thing which is available and I can create. It will be able to generate some sort of thing which you will be able to vibe with it. And now I would like to show you the 11 labs. It's a famous company, although I have not signed in, because I wanted to show you what they offer and how progress and strides have been made in text to speech sector, or in, let's say, that audio generation. Just now we saw in Chinese particular model Alibaba Cloud video that audio was not good. Now listen to these particular ones. These are AI generated or LLM specific audios. LLM, I mean to say, the always understand the foundational models which are coming. Although LLM has become too much generic term, but sometimes those are diffusion models, sometimes those are auto regressive models and stuff. So listen to these particular audios. And we already know, like, if any of you have talked with ChatGPT or Gemini, we already know how humane or how sort of human wise, or how I will say natural they sound. No more they sound like robot. Let's say that 5 years down the line, some robot might be taking the workshop, and even not 5 year down, 1 year down the line, anyone can make such a product which can take so much long and so much dynamic workshop and still sound like a human, and in a great way, like completely correct, no mistakes, no buffers, no kind of what we say stamming or any sort of thing. So listen to these different sort of audio. What are agent? You can real time talk in it. So there is a feature in Gen AI. Can anyone give me the answer that what it is called? Let's say that, so whenever we give input to a LLM, it takes a lot of time to generate the complete answer. So what is the term and what we call it when we are seeing the answer getting word by word streamed over on our screen? What do we call it? Although, let's say, because I have already said the answer, reasoning is different. Reasoning is thinking, sort of, Sasank. Whenever a model, so while training a model, we have a reward function where the model thinks before it in different caption what it has to do, and after that it generates the answer as per the instruction model. We call it a streaming only. Let's say I go to any particular multimodal, ask it, hi, how are you, and it won't directly give me the final output. It will be generating token wise token. See, multiple tokens at once and finally ended. This is called a streaming. So this particular agent, a space which we just saw in a label line support agent, and we can take a call and stuff. This is called streaming in real time, sort of. All the agentic workflows or stuff means agent, crew AI or ADK support now is streaming. Music, you can create music. I had given one prompt here. Where is the this one? You see, some of things got generated. This is the first audio, means this was not existent in the world, even not the lyrics, even nothing. Gen AI, so let's see, Gen AI tabs open like wands, guides and graphs. This is new song, I can publish it, upgrade for full song if I want, I can download it, sort of, I can share it. So you just saw, I just gave it random sort of a student environment, Gen atmosphere, grungy, no beat, and it has created multiple songs for me. See the lyrics, lyrics. This is study hall from hell. Midnight study hall, midnight study hall. It has generated lyrics as well, which we will see. Text token. It has generated audio form, instrumentals, everything. And now I can even download it. Let's say I can even share it. So download option is there. MP3 audio, and this becomes one of the songs which I just now generated with a random prompt which I had given random sort of selections, and we have one song available to us. Study, midnight study hall, we just listened. So similarly, music, just now I showed you speech to text, means we can write a particular thing, and whatever we say, that will be transcribed We already know even Samsung smartphones AI have a feature that if you will be recording my audio, whatever I'm saying, you can just click transcribe and it will get converted whole your recorded audio into the text. That is called a speech to text. But earlier it used to be not that great, especially even in the Google Meet and stuff. Although this is kind of old feature, now that is too good. Dubbing wise, this is the Modi ji's example came. Lex Fredman podcast with Lex Fredman he had given. English was the original language in which interaction has happened. But if any of you have not seen it, this is the original English version. Okay, device audio is not audible that you guys should have said previously. I think I have played a lot of video with audio. Is it same with everyone or is it with me? Means Sasank only.
The
Means
audio is yes, sir.
audio is not audible.
Yes, videos audio is not audible.
Okay. Other than the video, other platforms audio were available like 11 Labs and stuff. All right. Let me see how I can enable the audio from here. Just give me a second. And yeah, I found. You guys should have said it earlier, I think. Missed a lot of things. So I feel dumb now, like from so long without. So this was the song which we generated basically. Now is it audible? I just played it for a second. Can anyone confirm?
Yes, yes. Now it is
Yes.
audible.
Ah. So I will little bit jump so that you guys can again listen. It generated so many songs with the prompt, like Midnight Hall was one. Fluorescent bulbs, crack ceiling tile. And as I was saying, this song never existed in the world before we prompted it. This lyrics never existed in the world. Gen AI tabs open like phones, guides and graphs, ghosted classrooms. It was a student environment to prepare exam on Gen AI. They said adapt or left behind. So I fed machines, my tired mind. This song got generated. Similarly, I was showing about 11 labs that text to speech has got too much
I think this is
natural.
a really
I hope whenever any issue occurs such like that, intimidate me at that particular moment only, or so that I can initially means at start itself correct it and stuff. So I was showing about the dubbing, like original audio being this one.
There's a lot of young people listening to this that are truly inspired by your story. From those humble beginnings to the leader
So that's what, and this you can see
दुनिया
the
के
dubbed
सबसे बड़े
one.
लोकतंत्र के नेता बनने तक.
You can listen. Like there is not much difference. This is because of Gen AI has been able to completely do perfect sort of dubbing. Similarly, many Modi ji's song also come, or sometimes back we listened the song Sayara song in sang in the voice of Kishore Kumar. That was kind of voice cloning. Even though Kishore Kumar died years back, but still we are able to clone his voice and make him sing the new songs. That is voice cloning. That is also has gone to such a great level. Now, after editing is one which many of us have already tweaked with it, played with it. Nano Banana made it a lot viral because Nano Banana was able to get it into the nitty gritty. ChatGPT used to mess up the character consistency, what we say, or the face consistency. Now, along with text to video, image edit, and search target, there is a search targeting. Search means that doing the web search, getting output in that particular space. Perplexity is great one, but that was not a unique feature why I have mentioned here Perplexity. Let me share a screen and show you the real power of Perplexity, or Perplexity as a product where apart from search, Perplexity has a tool called, just a second, Comet. How many of you have heard about or used ever Comet tool? Can anyone say? Okay, Siddhe, great one. So those who have used it know like how powerful it is. It's sort of a browser which is completely Gen AI based. LLM like Perplexity used models being the brain of it, and then browser in itself being the agentic tool of it. It can do actions. Those who of you who have used it, then you know like I can ask it anything. I can ask it open my I won't say, let's say Gmail, open google.com in AI mode And this search, let's say what to search. Search VIT exam schedule. Although VIT is a VIT, it can consider any other college as well. So let's do some generic things. Search latest Gen AI news specific to Indian AI developers. I can search and it will open google.com. Opening google.com, you will see that a new tab will get opened. It will open google.com. It will now write it because it has been given the task. So we can even follow it, that what it is doing. Enable AI mode on desktop browser. Go to when signed in. If you see the labs or AI mode prompt, opt in search labs and stuff like that. So those of you who have already used, those who have not, you can try it. It's completely agentic based. It has got latest Gen AI funding tool and framework. Indian developers have got the information and stuff, although I expected it to do more than that. Let's leave it. So sometimes it message as well. So that was search targeted. Now, so see why runtime has got disconnected, because we were not using it and CPU RAM was getting invested by Google. So Google tried to tell us that they have disconnected us. We can reconnect it when we need it. We have reconnect. We have seen multiple things, right? One we missed, I had kept it, llm play. I will go, let us say targeted happened, audio to text, 3D world generator. This is new domain or paradigm in which models are coming from past 6 months and stuff, that now current LLMs are able to generate 3D world just with a stroke of keyboard. I mean, just like in the game we move with our upper arrow key, bottom arrow key, or WASD. Similarly, models are coming in which real time you can generate worlds. Like you can see the person is pressing the bottom arrow, then upper arrow, then more. It is happening in the real time. It was not a video generated. It was not an image generated. It's kind of a 3D world generation in real time. That's why you can listen, read it 24 fps. So 3D gen IO was one. Similarly, let me show you, Google also had released one model where I think this oh yeah, this is the Google one only, Genie 3. So you can interact with it, and within several minutes the video kind of 3D world in the gaming world, interactive gaming world, this is kind of a future. That's why also XAI has announced that they are forming a gaming company based on Gen AI. Similarly, you can see the 3D world of any particular one, you can explore it. The Marble World Labs also, it is all AI generated. It was not humanly coded or anything like that. I can go on any particular one, explore it. Although I have taken too much time on this one. Let's go. This was a Chinese model. They had released a human one. Is the screen changing? Ah, true. Just a second. Thanks for telling me. Now which one is it? Hmm. So it was not Comet. I moved it from that. So I was talking about this one. Just give me a second. Yes, Swarna, thanks for telling me. So text to audio happened. 3D generator, I was telling about this one, that now with the stroke of keyboard, we are able to generate different worlds in real time. Is now a screen visible? The Chrome one
Yes,
with
now it
3D
is
model
visible.
generator.
Yes.
Thanks, Swarna.
Yes.
Thanks. It was my mistake, like window shifting. So we can generate in real time. This is 3D world generator is coming in, as I was saying, coming recently in the past 6 month models have came, which can generate interactive 3D environments. Genie 3 was one model, then there are Marble Worlds, although they work in a small domain where they create small snippets or a particular scenario. We can see, we can interact with it, and this is completely AI generated. Similarly, Human World 1.0 came, I think it came 4 months 5 months back. Yeah, so it initially came in the July 2026, but they released the beta version, upgraded it in September when I had first noticed it. So it is such a great level, like 3D world is also, gaming world is getting transformed. Other than that, those, have any of you worked ever on the notebook LM? How many of you have tried notebook LM or tweaked it or did something with it? Yeah, great, Sasank. Those who have not tried, like, tell me that, do you even know about the notebook LM? Have you heard of it? Yeah, great. Mind map is a great feature. Great, Ayush. So let me show you. I had your syllabus while preparing these particular contents, and what I can do. Notebook LM is a great tool, great AI tool. I can as a source upload. Just give me a second. Source upload your particular document. Let's say upload files. And then what I can do, as you guys, Sasank, you said that you have made podcast also with it. Podcast is a great thing which initially came with the LLM, but now when I think about the learning wise, now they have a video overview feature as well, which was some time back, was in beta, and that supports any sort of language. Like I can choose Marathi here, and I will have within sometimes choose which one is choose language. I will choose Marathi here. Just give me a second. Hmm. So I had tried the Mathli being my native language, and I can just click generate one. Default is the short one. I can give it custom prompts here. Let's say that make it detailed or help me prepare on urgent basis, syllabus, main topics, and stuff. I can give it any particular focus in this particular stuff. Format, deep dive into it and stuff. I can click generate. Let it generate on the syllabus and stuff. We can let. So this has a lot of productive tools which has come in the market. Be it audio overview, we can generate reports on it. Slide deck means PPT. It used to take a lot of time earlier to generate PPT for many people who want interactive and such. Now we can just click the slide deck, we can give the data and we can create it within moments. Then there is this one is kind of a gold for those students and learners who are exploring the Gen AI space working in. Many of you who has used Google AI Studio, tell me. Yeah, true, Haris. That even the Perplexity has this tool that you can use it for the analysis of the stock market because they target themselves as a search market. Like you can search information from the internet and stuff like that. So how many of you have used Google AI Studio for API or any sort of thing? Great, Sumit. So this particular is the gem. Like you want to have a how to have a LLM locally. Many of you might not have too much a strong system so that you can host your models locally and get inference locally. Many of you might not want to invest too much money initially into it or have financial constraint because we know that if you want to use get or buy the OpenAI API, you will have to buy from the playground, OpenAI playground, which will cost you a few dollars. Same goes with Claude, but Google AI Studio gives you free one. Although one great thing is that many companies have a student specific offers that students will have premium access for free. But even though you don't want to use or your one student offer got used, you can try the Google AI Studio and anyone can try. Even me being in corporate and already working can try. We can do what is that we can go on the home. We can create any particular API which I want, create API, select the project. Project is cloud, Google Cloud based because this is also part of the Google Cloud. And then if I don't want, I just want to play with it, I can play in the playground. Like image wise, Nano Banana, I want to play with it, I can select it, or Imagen 4, I can select it. This was kind of a DALI successive models and stuff. Nano Banana is kind of a editing tool as well along with model, but Imagen is kind of a just prompt to output model. We can select aspect ratio, so you can see the kind of playing we can do in this particular Google AI Studio. Now, apart from Google, so Google AI Studio will be a lot great for you. Chat with models, any particular model you want. Tools will be there, like code execution you want to do. It will be sort of agentic. Grounding with Google searches, like whatever your prompt beat, it will search on the Google, get the output, and then that will be the grounding truth on which the LLM will generate the final output. These are the tools, although I have taken too much time onto the tools explanation. Now let's go to the real thing, how these became so much powerful and how we came to such a world that so many plethora of tools are available. Now when going to the back to our one, we can see 3D model generation, other tools are there, video generation. These are kind of a paid tools. You will have to sign up for even for whatever they offer in the free ways or stuff like that. Suno AI is another. 11 Labs we saw. Kind of Suno AI we have used to generate the audio, ice audio. Now in the explanation I had kept it the AI mindset, like what traditional AI was, what generative AI was. We won't spend too much time into it, but traditional AI was most of it that we have a data. On data, we select a particular features of the data, and then on the features, we train a particular model. What is model? A particular architecture when trained on data becomes a model. So architecture can be your machine learning algorithm, be it linear regression, be it logistic regression, and any sort of, these are the architectures or algorithms on which when you train with the data, the final output is the model on which you can predict it. So you can read here prediction. Prediction gives us a continuous value or integer, but classification gives us labels, like it is also integer, but integer taken after the softmax of the various categories in which data might come based on the probability of various label and stuff. GenAI in action, we have already seen so many tools here. How does it work, the GenAI? So GenAI started with one particular, can anyone tell me what is the basis of foundation of GenAI? Like what can be considered one great transformation? Let me give you a hint. It was because of a research paper by Google. So what was that particular paper which led to transformer? True, but what was the name of the paper or a specific paper which led to transformer? Transformer was the architecture mentioned in the paper, or after it also we can say that paper was different. Paper attention is all you need. What was it? Attention is all you need was a paper which came up with a unique architecture to translate languages. So in we are talking about transformers, right? What is transformer? A new architecture. 2020 2017 revolution. Why? Because transformer architecture came as an improvement over LSTM. Now, this is a technical question. Those of you who are really into AI/ML and stuff, what was the main improvement apart from attention the transformer architecture offers, which led to it being widely adopted and too fast training? Can anyone say? That's a, I will say that's kind of a the way the tokens are treated and stuff. Any idea? Like what was LSTMs and such, how they used to get trained, and how means transformer training happens, that it is so fast. Encoder decoder structure, that was earlier. Shreyas is right. Parallel processing of tokens. Whenever we give input, earlier what used to happen, seek to seek, we say sequence to sequence training, means one token gets fed its attention, its we can say that it's in the LSTM we used to calculate its importance and stuff, used to get processed on a one token, then used to come another token, we used to see, it used to take a lot of time. But in transformer architecture, in the paper attention is all you need, we could fed all the inputs, input means to text input I'm talking about, at once, and all of the tokens means after the encoder encodes it into particular integers and stuff, means vectors we can say, and once it gets fed into the LLM model, the attention will be computed parallelly. It won't be sequentially, so it was much faster. The training also, inference also, that's why it's much faster, because it is the input goes and the parallel processing happens. So one thing was attention got multifold improved because of thing called self attention, where we have multi edges on each particular token. There is a architecture thing called key query. So now let me go into the, there is a website I'm posting in the chat. This particular website, those who want to understand the LLM or transformer architecture in depth, this is kind of a uh, visual pathway or your learning to the transformer architecture. So there was a thing called query key value vector. Each particular token has three things, query key value, and on these particular three things the attention gets calculated for next particular token, and they all have different sort of mechanisms through which the intermediary stage, or in deep learning what we call hidden stages, that gets calculated, and then too much you see. So from data query, this is the vector 1, each one's having different probabilities, or so it gets calculated, and then finally we have output layer in which we predict the next token, which is called possibilities, like which particular token has how much possibility of it being. So possibility on what? So we can see data visualization, empower user, these are, each one is a token. Token is what? Tokenization is a mechanism through which whenever we give input sentences, these on words don't go into the model, Generally, although for explanation here words have been given, so word tokenizer we can say, kind of English wise word tokenizer, but there is a tokenization mechanism called byte pair encoding. We won't go into the depth. Which does is that it tokenizes the inputs. Inputs can be sent let's say this para. Now transformer can be made of two words or two tokens, actually trans being one, pre and former being the another one, then it gets combined into one. So it all comes into the byte pair encoding. So this website you can try to understand transformer explanation. Now forget about how transformer works, that you can read in depth into a letter, that each one having different probability. You just need to click arrow and understand that once you click generate, what happens is that the data gets into the embedding, embeddings get created, embedding turns into numbers, the token blocks get created, probabilities get determined and stuff. So you will see, understand that how things are happening. Positional encodings, positional encodings is why essential, because we are doing parallel processing, and in each particular sentence where the words come matters. Like if I ask you where are you going, and I say are you are going, so both have you are going where, so where is differently placed and this can mean differently. Like we know that questions are made, you are eating and are you eating, same tokens, but the position of are change the meaning of the sentence. That's why positional encoding is essential. Like this data is the first position is 0 in this particular sentence. We can see repetitive transformer blocks come, so multi-head attention comes and a lot of things come inside. Like those who want to go into the depth, we were talking about key query value metrics, multi-head attention comes, attention output, concatenation, output logic. So here comes, see, output logic get answered, that out of all the vocab. So see, whatever model we train, there will be a vocabulary, how many words, tokens into it. All the unique tokens will form the vocabulary of it. And each particular vocabulary word or token in a vocabulary will have a certain probability of being the next token after the input data. Like after make, so this is here, make is the next token which has got predicted. What is the next tokens vocabulary? Here let's say that 50,257 numbers each for each token as GPT-2. So we will be saying GPT-2 only. You remember in the hands-on which we will do, we will see GPT-2 only. Probability gets calculated. Then we have various mechanisms to do sampling. What is sampling? These are hyperparameters to control our output. So temperature will be applied beforehand, like in the calculation of the probabilities. But sampling top k top p gets applied on the, it's a sampling technique gets applied on the output probabilities. When output get calculated, now k is top k means how many top tokens we are considering. So currently it is 5. I will increase it. The below ones will also get into the picture. See, now it can below ones can also be selected. Similarly, top p is probability based, that how much total probability accumulation we want to take into the picture. So since it is 0.5, so if I will increase it, now 0.1 is all the tokens will be getting considered, that any particular token can come into the picture. This was on the transformer architecture. That led to, now for simple explanation, I have even explained in detail. Now if you think, just now what happened, we had a prompt, write a poem about coding. Here we had a prompt, data visualization, empower user to make. Now next token take becoming the next one, because we had increased, decreased it. So see, next token always getting decided based on it. So next token, tokenizer embeds it, same thing, transformer layer, attention, which words matter. Here one thing is not written, is the positional encoding, which positional which particular word come at which particular position. Output, what output happened, that next token got generated. If you see generated text, one token at a time, output comes. So after about coding, and then the next word will come. So there are multiple key concepts. Those who are interested can learn. Now I think we have spent approximately 50 minutes on this particular theoretical basis. For 10 minutes, any question you have on the theoretical one, you can ask. Anything you want to learn in depth, be it on transformer architecture, GenAI question and stuff, then we will go into the practical one, especially on the GPT one, which I will explain in depth. Now we will do hands-on. So those who are not ready can open your Colab, or can even take the notebook link which I had given, and we can move ahead. Till then, any particular question on the GenAI which you might have, you can ask me and I will be glad to answer the same. anything you can ask, be it on the Gen AI, the overall, the biomedical student can ask various things which might not be related to transformer, but its application. Hmm. So, say attention mechanism, whenever we talk about attention, what it means. So, that paper itself, the attention was a lot important thing. Why? Because when the paper said attention is all you need, they were too much focusing on the word attention. Attention is what? That how much importance you give to a particular token whenever the token is fed into a particular model. So, like when we are talking about attention, see what happens is that for each particular token when it gets embedded first and then converted into the integer gets fed into the model. Each particular one have key, query, and query, key, and value vector. What is query? Query is the question we are trying to answer, like trying to understand the mechanism or patterns inside it. But what is value? Value is the itself, like value is itself the token itself. So attention, how we calculate? So for each particular head, if you see here, we calculate the attention of the next particular token which can come or which is already coming. Then we concatenate all sort of thing, the tokens which has came to it's a say until I explain you the transformer architecture, and if until I show you, let me open the transformer. Okay, it will go into the depth, by the way, because just give me a second. So one more thing I would like to tell, that this particular architecture is encoder decoder based, as someone had mentioned, but chat GPTs and all work on only decoder based models. So encoder is the one which takes input, converts it into the encodings, and then on the encodings there is another model which takes those particular encodings and tries to come up with the decodings on uh, that particular encoding, so that the output can come, and then the output gets converted into again tokens. Initially, as I said, it the model was for the translation task, so that's why encoder decoder was essential. But eventually things ahead got shifted in a way that ChatGPT's guys tried with only decoder model, which led to GPT-1. And one thing we noticed is that you can see that ChatGPT can also do the translation. That thing we call as a emergent properties or emergent thing, which we had not expected initially, but it was able to come up with it. Like it was able to explain it and stuff that so that we can, even though it was not trained for the what I will say, even though it was not trained for the translation, but it was able to do the translation. It's called emergent properties. Similarly, only encoder based model also came. Encoder BERT was a bidirectional encoder only model, which was great for under spam classification sort, where we mask the left thing, where we mask the right thing. We try to predict the in between token. So I was now telling about the question, Sasank's question, attention mechanism works in transformer. See, when we input embeddings, input embeddings means just consider the decoder only. More, let's go with this one only. Input embeddings, you already, as I explained, it gets first converted into the integer. Now integer gets fed into it. Each particular token, where each particular token having three particular things getting in the transformer, queries, key, values, it calculates the dot product between the words query and all keys. Like so it until I will be able to explain it properly when I can show you with the matrix operation and stuff. What happens is that similarity, each particular token has its score, like going into the token, and then the query scale it on the token. So I am not able to explain it properly until I show you the matrix operations of it. So there are dot operation means matrix operation go into it, dot product between words query, words I mean to say here token, and all the keys which goes into it. It scales it, and then it applies softmax. Let me see where it has given, like they have given softmax application or not. I will have to search in it. And on the softmax value, then they multiply weight corresponding to value uh, when output logits came. So it's I can recommend you, it's kind of a very deft concept. like how attention works, because it's inner. In the hidden layer, what happens is that the same operation which I was trying to explain now. See, heads, let's go into the little bit inside heads. This is all attention. Like if you see the dot, just now I was saying, right? Okay, here it is. See, on each particular query, what happened is that we are having the dot product of what? Dot product between a words query, like data being the words query, and all the keys which is coming here. All the keys, like let's say the above is the key. Okay. Now, just a second, let me explain. Get it again here in the left. So dot product comes for each particular word, means query coming from the key, and then we scale it. Why masking happens? We don't want to let the model know what is the next token on which it. We don't want to. Masking is a method which is used for decoder only model, so that the model does not know what is the next token about to come, and it always tries to predict the next token, so that the bias or the model's training does not happen on the see what we call it, auto regressive model or gen AI or generative models, text to text models. So our target is always to predict the next token without having the next token any sort of bias or any sort of impact on the uh, previous token generation and previous token calculations. So that's why we mask it. So see, that's why I was saying it will be difficult, because there are particular operations, like you can see qk to the power key, q being the k query matrix, k being the key value, and then root under operations of it, multiplied with, we calculate the softmax of it. Softmax is what? That we just take the probability. Softmax you can consider it as a probability taking. So that's kind of a attention one. In the architecture, here you can listen. Okay, I will explain your question another little bit later. So Sasank, for you to understand it, go into this particular website also and try to understand how that particular operation happened. Because I can tell you the outside jargon, key query value vector, I can tell you dot operation happen, scaling happen, which I told you. But until you take a particular data or particular token and try to come up with the metrics of it or calculate it, you won't be able to completely understand it. That's why it's difficult to visualize, sort of explain it until you do it manually and stuff like that. Now on the Nayan, your particular question, you want to train a model, so that's what I'm. So one thing, Nayan, that training LLM, we can only do very small models for learning purposes. Because even though GPT we are talking about, the number of parameters in GPT will be millions, 172 million. GPT-2 we will be doing total parameters. Sorry. So GPT, just a second, we will be taking the small one today. So see, even the GPT-2 came in 1.5, the smallest one being 124 million, the small one, the parameter. What are the parameters? The number, each particular token having a vector, or you can consider a vector with how many data points it has, on which the weights it will change. So that is the parameter. So a smallest model also have 124 million parameter. But for learning purposes, I can recommend you learn from the scratch, like train a very small model from the scratch. There is a book called LLM, training LLM from learning LLM from scratch and stuff by Sebastian. Learning LLM, training LLM from scratch, I think. From scratch, yeah. Build a large language model from scratch. So this one book you can try, but you can't train large language model on it. So regarding on the fine tuning, you can do fine tuning on the large language model. Won't say too much large language model, but let's say that large language models like GPT OSS of 20 billion models. If you want the lower one, you can go for the Gemma 3 series, which will be coming with the 3 billion parameters model as well. It comes at a smaller size as well. So you can go on the Hugging Face and stuff like that. Check it, okay? So there are smaller. You can do fine tuning in your system also. If your system supports, let's say GPU, it has proper GPU. If your system does not, you can try on the Colab environment. For fine tuning, I will suggest you techniques like QLoRa. So this is a unique technique. What it does is that so fine there is a overall domain of fine tuning is called PEFT. parameter efficient fine tuning. What is PEFT? Parameter efficient fine tuning means that we don't train the whole model or fine tune the whole model. We just add adapters inside the model, the small adapters which will have the knowledge or meaning of the data which we are trying to train on, and then that can work properly. Now PEFT can also take a lot of computation resources, so we have came up with efficient mechanisms of PEFT. One is uh, LoRa. And what does it means? It means low rank adaptation. Means what we do is that we don't try to have the high rank matrices added into as an adapter, very small. And then there is QLoRa. What is quantize? Quantization is a method through which we try to reduce the accuracy of the floating point number in each particular weight. So there are various quantization techniques. 4-bit quantization is one of the great techniques which reduces a particular integer accuracy, floating point, not integer, floating point numbers accuracy to 4 bits, and it does not lead to much performance downgrade. So such kind of fine tuning techniques you can try. So I would suggest that model wise you can try anything, like just go on Hugging Face, search for the model or small models, or just go on the Olama also. Like Olama will have great famous models listed here. So take one a small model, newest one you can go. Let's say the translate Gemma. Gemma is a family of open source model by Google. So you can take the 4 billion model one. Vision one is also there. So and then download its file. Then you can try with it locally, fine tune it. So Olama, if you have good GPU, you will be able to even get inference locally on the Olama in your system. But for fine tuning and stuff, I will suggest that there are various techniques, like instead of Olama, VLLM will be much faster for inference as well. Any other question anyone has? So for learning, go with training a model on the scratch. For for really getting like your particular syllabus had a particular thing, that fine tuning it on a particular small, I think medical domain. Just give me a second. Domain specific articles, can LLM generate coherent? So see, instead of fine tuning, we can also go for a thing called RAG architecture, means where we do retrieval augmented generation, where the content is coming from the articles, and we are not fine tuning it. It's called context engineering, where we are giving context to the prompt, and the context is itself the accuracy or the data we are trying to. But if we want to do fine tuning, I think fine tuning was also, yeah, fine tune. GPT-3 is not GPT is not you can do locally. It will be large model. I will suggest go with GPT-2 or go with latest models, which is a smaller one, because latest models architecture are also a lot fine tuned, so that you can go ahead with it. That way you won't have too much computation issue and stuff. Let me show you one thing, like Olama I was talking about, right? So Olama even is even in my particular system, I have kept Olama, and whenever I use it for the API generation and stuff, like whenever I want to talk, I hope screen is visible. And see, GPT OSS 20 billion one model is here. Someone was once saying reasoning. Reasoning is a model architecture wise, where we train the model to think before it gives answer. What does here think means? Like whatever we give prompt input, it will first reiterate what is the task given, what it should do before giving the final generation. So that reasoning model came from a concept initially which got successful. It's called chain of thought. What was chain of thought? That instead of saying what is 3 plus 2, 3 plus 5, let's say, it will give me, why it will take few seconds, because the model will get loaded. So instead of it saying directly 3 plus 5 is 8, chain of thought was, let's go to new chat. I will say, what is 3 plus 5? First do, because now it GPT OSS knows what is chain of thought. So I will just tell it that do chain of thought in answer. And you will see interesting thing that it will be explaining the 3 is 1 1 1 1, identify the operator. We need to do two numbers. Recall basic addition. Addition is the unit. 3 plus 5 equals double check. 5 plus 3 also equals 8, confirming the result. Answer 3. So this was the chain of thought. This also led to a generation model of family where reasoning models came up. So just now you saw the reasoning. Now we can change it that how much reasoning token we want to assign. Do we want to do a lot of reasoning with the high and stuff like that? So this is reasoning as specific. Any other question you have before we can go to the little bit hands-on? Hands-on, I have kept it too basic so that anyone can follow. Be it no matter from whichever domain you are or biomedical, you have whichever Gen AI specific information or not, you will be easily able to do it. For those who have already done such sort of hands-on, you will be able to go into the much depth in workshop 2, where we will have a lot of things we can do. We can build a RAG architecture. We can even do the fine tuning. As Nayan, you asked, we can take a model. We can try to fine tune it, a small model itself. As I have said, Q LoRa, so I will try to fine tune on that particular one. Let's see what happens on the medical one. Can we reach great accuracy and stuff? That I can do. Any feedback, any question anyone would like to give before we move ahead? Because now we have approximately 50 minutes in which we will see the hands-on. Anything you want to get explained properly? One, for those who want to get understand the LL transformer architecture in depth, let me share you one video that is just give me a second. It's screen visible. Let me share this particular tab only. Can anyone confirm it was visible? Now browser should be visible, right? Is browser visible? Okay. So there is a YouTube video by I will share just now the link that has great explanation how transformer architecture works. Because see, if I will have to explain the transformer architecture on the very top, I will say it's kind of a or next word prediction, which is next word prediction, but at a scale where a model which is doing next word prediction has understood all sort of data, the pattern between the data, the meaning, the context and stuff like that. But in depth, if you want to understand like dot product, softmax, scaling, masking, all sort of technical jargons which come into it and how it happens, you can, I will share little material as well. Transform, just give me a minute, I will share. So it's by 3 blue 1 brown. That's a great, it's a long 27 minutes, half an hour, but it will take some time to understand. So this particular YouTube video you guys can watch later to understand how the transformer works. It will initially start with the same thing what I said, the next word prediction sort of, but it will go into the how it changes, and even that particular website which Ayush had sent in the chat, that will be a lot helpful to you guys to understand visually how the things work. Now I hope you all have your Google Colab ready. Anyone having any issue, you can now only set text, like in setting up Google Colab or starting with it. Any issue to anyone? So since no text on the same, uh, I would like to start now. I hope you have set it up environment. Can anyone interact by turning on audio and stuff so that I know you guys are able to follow and stuff? Otherwise, it will be just like a rundown for me, just explaining the cells and moving ahead.
Yeah, sir, it is connected.
Okay. So environment setup is basically nothing. We will be installing the requirements file. Requirements are also not too much. So when transformer architecture came, GPT and stuff came, how we now train the transformer models and stuff. For that, there is Hugging Face has a library called transformers. We most of us use that particular transformer library only for us to train the model, be it transformer architecture, even for the inference side and stuff. So initially what we will do, we will install the transformer architecture. It will take some, you just run like this, you will just run like this and it will run. So it will take some time for you to install. I think 1 minute it will take. If you guys have installed, you guys have notebook as well, right? You can duplicate it or copy it for you to move ahead with it. So it will install soon. I have also added the comment so that you guys can follow easily. And then we are verifying installation, because I had shown you now that we have two types of machines, CPU and GPU. So if we want to, GenAI is a great, for GenAI use cases, GPU are great because we can do a lot of parallel processing, a lot of linear algebra operations like metric operation. What are metric operation we are talking about? Dot product, scaling and stuff on the matrices. So those are very fast. So we could have installed the PyTorch version which is specific to uh, GPU. Means PyTorch, if you will go into the, for those who will ever try to do this locally instead of on the website, you will see on the PyTorch website that the two sort of versions will be available. So one sort of version will be for CPU. If you see CPU, which is pip install torch vision. If you have GPU, like my system has particular GPU, then I will be going with the GPU. I mean to say, since everywhere NVIDIA GPU we use, and NVIDIA GPU has an architecture on which we can easily communicate with it. That's called CUDA architecture. So CUDA, which particular version is installed in you? Is it CUDA 12.8, 12.6? So for that particular one, you will run the command to install the PyTorch like this. Once you have installed it in your system, or here we are, see, we will be running here. We have already ran transformer, and once transformer we ran the transformer version, we will, this Gradio I had started because this needed for the image generation. We can easily do image generation. Gradio does a lot of interfacing with publicly available APIs like forest, like there are many on the Hugging Face. Those of you who are familiar with the Hugging Face, I will suggest go to the spaces section, and you will see there are many projects which are hosted. But along with that, you can go on the model section, and you will see a lot of models which are publicly available. So one was asking, Nayan was asking that can I train LLM from scratch and stuff. Many people do fine tuning and host their model on Hugging Face. It is basically, Hugging Face is just like GitHub is for code repositories. Hugging Face is same thing for the model data set and projects built using built on such top of things. So for image based model, if we want, you can directly select image to text and image based models will come. If same things inference is available, you can see that you can use the notebooks also, where it will be loaded in your GPUs and stuff, or a transformer library. Just now we were talking about it and stuff. Some of the models will be already hosted as well. What do I mean by hosted? That you will have directly API access of it through the Hugging Face page and stuff like that. So Gradio helps us with the public API of that particular thing. In the image, whenever in the next workshop we will talk about the image, we will talk about it. Here we are checking the PyTorch version. Let me run it again. I should, and you will see that same thing came, Gradio client ready for image generation, although we are not using Gradio here. CPU version PyTorch we are ready to run on. We are not using the GPU one. GPU available, then it would get the device name like GPU device 1 or 0 on running the same particular thing. Now hands-on text generation, GPT-2. I just showed you that GPT-2 was the second model which came from the OpenAI side, and that as also mentioned in your particular syllabus, which had a, means which was trained on multiple billion parameter. We will be using the 124 million parameter, a small. So there are two things. While training, we can use billions of parameter or even trillions of parameters. Parameter is like data set of training. So it's like we are feeding whole of the internet's data while training, but how many weights are getting added into the, what is the vocabulary size, or what is the total parameter size, the weights are getting tweaked, that we call the parameter. So even though here parameter is 124 million, the training data should have been billions actually. So if I will search total training parameters, total training token size, not parameters, but token size of GPT-2, it can come hundreds of billions. See, approximately 100 billion. And then latest models are coming with trillions of tokens. Like generally it is said that currently the internet data is less for LLM training because we have almost used all of the internet's data for training. Not the private data set, publicly available internet as scrap data set. Or even for company, let's say Google, then Google will have our data set, YouTube videos and stuff. So that also gets used for training. They have privacy policies like such. So now what we will be doing is that we will be creating our generation pipeline. So what we are doing here is the text generation model GPT-2 we are using. We are here downloading. First of all, what we will do is that download the model. So whenever we say that pipeline, we are from the means we are here telling the model as a GPT-2 use CPU works on all computer device being -1. Here tells the same print equal to is just printing the equal to line. Okay, any particular code line or anything you guys have issue, you guys tell me. So now for those whose model is not downloaded, model will get downloaded first. Like here it is saying that it will downloading will take 2 minutes, but it is already downloaded in my particular case, so that's why it has not said anything. 124 parameters it has, device is set to CPU, and we have now after that, just a second, someone has Gradio, true. Actually, Sasank, Gradio is also there. Then there is a Streamlit as well. But Gradio, I was not mentioning about the UI. I was more explicitly mentioning about the public available APIs which has interface with the Gradio client. Like if you will search Gradio client interface with public available. Yes. Especially from the Hugging Face, multiple are available. That's why I was showing Hugging Face. Gradio and Streamlit are such application which helps in the same. So say, yeah, you can easily interact with the public API from Hugging Face Spaces with Gradio Python client library. This allows you to use any hosted Gradio application as API with few lines of code. For image generation, we can use it like this particular one. If it is provided, we can directly call its name, and with this much only we can predict it. So this is very easy. This is text based, but text based we have already done for the GPT-2. So we are not going with it. Now here we are generating the first text. And since we are talking about very small model, 124 million, so you will see the text will be getting generated. Sentences grammatically will sound good, but semantically or meaning wise, it won't be great. We will see just now. So here prompt is first text generation we are doing. Artificial intelligence is changing the world because. Now instead of it, I can change it. The world is shifting towards digital collaboration. So what is this? This is auto completion by Gemini, which is integrated in the Colab. So if you are getting similar transformation or anything, it does not mean something is coming from GPT-2 side. It is just that Gemini or auto completion is now everywhere enabled. So it is coming from there. Digital meetings and collaboration for developments. So if I write it and just leave it and or something and leave it like that, and if I will run it, so first it is just prints for our interface for our to understand whenever the output comes. Generate text, if you see the text generation is the function we are calling, and we are passing the parameter inputs or arguments to the text generator function. What are the arguments to it or parameters to it? First is the prompt. Prompt is what? So the prompt literal word means that whenever anything is waiting for us to act and we give it a input, that thing we call prompt in case of computer science. Let's say we have a terminal and then there is a cursor waiting for us to input. So whatever we input, we call that thing also as a prompt. So prompt is not something AI specific. It is coming from that particular domain or in computer science especially. For other one, cause or bring an action or feeling, as you can see. So prompt is this one. It goes as input, like you can say it as a, it will be the initial tokens on which the parallel processing will go on, and after which generation will be sequence to sequence. So although input happening, many had said also that parallel processing happen. Although input goes in and parallel processing happen on the input, attention weight calculation and everything, but the next token generation or word generation happen sequence by sequence. What is maximum token? So how many tokens or output tokens I want? So there are two mechanisms. Either it will get ended where so there is a thing called end of sentence, EOS we call. So like slash n or something like that, if it is there, the LLMs while training we add one thing called end of sentence, so that LLM knows that after which it does not have to reply. Or we can have a max new token where we say that after this token it can't reply or it needs to stop, like we see on the cloud code or stuff, that once our context window gets over, it says that no more space remaining because its maximum token generation happens. Num return sequence is like how many sequence sampling I had shown you on the transformer sampling, that we want to keep the sampling, or is it greedy search or beam search we want to keep. What is greedy search and beam search? If we are directly greedy search, the highest probable token we will be taking. So that is called greedy search. But if we want to keep the sampling on, we keep it true. Temperature is one most important thing, which now and then you will listen about. It's always, we will explain it below. I had kept it already section because temperature was important one, so I have kept it. 0.8 temperature can go above 1 also, but generally we keep it from 0 to 1. So I will just run it and you will see I had changed the prompt. So earlier prompt was what? Something related to artificial intelligence is changing the world, because you see the previous output because of it. So it does not make any sense if you think artificial intelligence is changing the world because of it, full stop. Does not make much sense. Then the news comes as a result of new technology, reported artificial something, April 26. It seems that sentence grammatical structure wise it is meaning, means syntax what we say, it seems that syntax is correct, but semantics or what we say meaning is completely messed up. So because it is very small model, but at the same time we can use large language models or chat gpt and stuff to make, because those are very large models, and even current day small models are able to get a lot things done. I will show you that if possible with time. So you can see that it is able to generate it. Now let's do on this particular prompt and we will see what it generates. Model is already loaded. See, so I had given it the world is shifting towards digital meeting and collaboration for development. And what was the output generated? So output generated came, the world is shifting toward digital meeting and collaboration for development and new solutions. So this doesn't make sense if you think. And new solutions, we are in the same place where we begin in the early days of the world, when people did not know what to believe, and then there is repetition. It's called repetition loop. What happens when in the transformer architecture, if the possibility of next token is always higher and stuff, and it always get next time also it gets selected, then the next time also the another token gets selected, and it stucks in a loop that we call as a repetition loop, and that has just now happened for us. So if you remember earlier chat gpt and stuff, even for current llms, if the context is too large, sometimes they get stuck into the repetition loop. It specifically happens when we have a lower temperature in very large language models, also creativity being low, and top sampling being, well, let's say that the top sampling is the minimum, top k is also one sort of that, whatever is the one coming, that only take. So that sort of what to believe and when to take action. This isn't a phenomena at all. In the last few years digital conferences have, so if you think a sentence came up but not does make much sense. So this is just a print statement you have, you just made ai to write something new. This sort of sentence, we were not able to get even this sort of sentence with LSTMs. So that's why the GPT-2 showed us, GPT-1 and eventually when the OpenAI guys scaled it to GPT-2, that scaling, you might have heard a lot, those who are into a lot into this space, that scaling was a lot helpful and scaling will solve everything. Even though that did not turn out to be true, now we have reached a point where no more scaling we are doing, and even with the scaling we are not able to get too much improvement or significant or transformative improvement. So here you can see that GPT-2 showed us that with scaling we will be able to get much better output, and that's why ChatGPT came scaled the model or the number of parameters in the model, or let's say that transformer blocks, because when I was talking about transformer, I had shown one particular architecture. Just let me go. So this particular architecture, not a single block we embed a lot of blocks in the model architecture. Like let's say 32 was the initial one. If I will search how many transformer blocks were there in GPT-2, you will understand how many transformer blocks were. See, So initially was 24, 36, 48, 24 being, let's say for the small models, a small had 12 blocks. And even for the current one, that is getting much higher as well. So um, where we were, yeah. So the current models are a lot good. OpenAI scaled it. Now we are here to understanding. I already explained this particular thing by the way here itself. But what was the max tokens, max new tokens, the maximum words to generate here? Although I have written word, but what you need to understand, words in the case of AI does not mean human words, because I had said right that tokens are different thing than word. It can be considered that there are, let's say, four characters can be considered one token and stuff like that. So token is different from word. Our encoders do what is embedding encoders or model do what is they convert the all the paragraphs and words we have given into tokens. So it's the maximum tokens we want to generate, and for simplicity or understanding we say it as a word. Temperature, creativity level. In the transformer architecture I was showing you temperature, like we can tweak with it. Let me first cross it. Yeah, we can tweak with temperature. I had said just now, right, we can go maximum also, like 10 also we can go see. But temperature generally we keep 0 to 0. It's said that whenever we keep temperature as 0, we are keeping creativity as a 0, and next possible next token is already most probable one, like the take visualize being here the most probable one. Since this particular website is not allowing us to go below 2.0.2, that's why it has 97 only. We will see temperature, creativity level 0.1 safe. Even the 0 we can keep, but that can get us in which loop? Repetition loop, where the next token will be highly probable. What to believe, it can again come what to believe, it can again come, because since comma came it can again come what to believe instead of when to take action. Then comes the num return sequence. How many versions? As I had said, the one only version we are one sequence only we are returning, but we can return 3 sequences, 5 sequences to experiment with us. For you to try, like just now I gave any particular random prompt, you can give the another prompt, whatever you want. There are 3 samples you want for you to see that you are able to generate. And one more thing, these particular codes even in your laptop, like whatever laptop be it, you will be able to run it and inference will be coming, because GPT-2 is 124 million model is not too much large. Anyone has any issue in the going up to here? Can anyone say you are able to follow or not? Any explanation anyone need? Great, Siddhi. Anyone else also? Because it will be great if you are able to follow. Say, other than that, if you are not interested in this one, API is very easy to do. API is just that all the magics which we are trying to do locally, means locally where we have loaded the GPT-2 model, it will be happening on the cloud. They also give us the same sort of parameters to pass to them. Prompt is the one which will always go temperatures and sampling. We can choose which sort of sampling we want to do and stuff like that. But here we are doing locally in our cloud environment. I had shared already Hina Kuvar. I had shared above. I will just now share as well. Just give me a second. This particular session, I had all my main target was you all have the foundation where you understand things. Next time when we build it, you guys can understand that okay, things are inside like this, under the hood things happen like this. What are the jargons you are able to understand? Because over the top many things will be library wise coming. RAG architecture, we will have different sort of things which are not too much specific to LLM, like encoder decoder one had said specific to LLM, but no, they are even before the transformer architecture, encoder decoder was a prevalent thing, because that's how you encode the data. One hot encoding many of you might have heard in traditional machine learning, so that is also a encoding thing. And decoding just mean, encoder decoder just mean that you encode your data in from a particular format to a particular format. Byte pair encoding one I had said that was initially used for data compression. Some of you can search, you will understand, to compress sort of complex data. But now we use for token conversion into it, like embeddings. Any of you, if have any issue in running till now, you say, otherwise we can move ahead with the next one. Okay, Jay. Let's move ahead then. So I already showed you that you can, we have just now generated. So basically talking by that, your first particular project, that the first particular module in your particular uh, syllabus, what it was saying is that you should generate hands-on in GPT-2 is already completed. Like we did, we loaded the transformer architecture, we loaded the PyTorch for us to run it. For we were running, for those who have GPU, you can run on your particular GPU. So download the PyTorch GPU supported one, means CUDA supported one, and then we got the output as well. Now understanding the parameters also, I explained you maximum new tokens, like number of sequences returned, understanding temperature, although I already explained you here, you can understand tokens by doing it. So what we are doing here is that we have given a small half completed sentence, the meaning of life is, and then left it, and then we have taken three sort of a kind of a list we have created where three sort of temperature here: 0 0.3, 0 0.7, 1.0. So let me show you one more magic here. If I will keep two sort of temperature 0 and 0, so you will see for that particular one the output will get exactly repeated. Although I will explain you one particular thing, even though temperature does not mean determinism in the LLM space. Why is that? Because some sort of, so there is an article by Thinking Machines, why LLM hallucinates. Hallucination is a unique thing which happens in LLM, and even though you keep the temperature at 0, it can hallucinate. Let me do one thing, is that copy this thing and make it the first two labels as a, so these are just labels I have kept so that in the output we can understand it better. Let's make it, change it to extremely, give it a beautiful emoji. So sort of, let's go car wise. Extremely, which one we should give? Safe. Okay, rocket. Let's give. This is favorite emoji in AI space. Means LLM generated outputs. This is one of the favorite emoji. So extremely conservative, because we are keeping the temperature same here also, extremely conservative, and we will run it. Then I will explain you the code. Okay, what happened? Okay. So 0, it is not taking 0 0.1. Let me, so although I think I will keep it 0 0.01 if it is not taking. Generally, we can set in current ones. GPT-2, I'm also not sure. Even with the GPT 2.0, you can see one particular thing. Let it run first. Okay, have I? Here I kept. Okay, here I had not changed. That's why in the print output it is not showing that one. 0 1 0 1. So first one you can consider 0 0.01 because I had missed to change it. It is also not 0, it's 0 0.01. But if you see, let me generate it. It's the sentence is same. The meaning of life is not to be confused with the meaning of life here. But again, as I was saying, hallucination or it is not deterministic. LLM is not deterministic, completely considered deterministic. So that I will explain you just now. That's the beauty of LLM actually. Even with 0 temperature, I will once again check that why I'm not able to set 0 temperature. There was a error it gave. We can later debug it. Means we can later try to figure out why this particular transformer GPT-2 architecture is not taking 0 as a temperature. It had given some error like floating point. But if you see with the 0 0.1, 0 0.01, not even 0 0.1, we are taking even less than that. So the first one which got generated is the meaning of life is not to be confused with meaning of life. After that, the next sentence is because our maximum token was 60, so it is generating up to 60. This was the first run. So how do you know this is the first run? So because here when we are printing, we have a loop. In the loop, we are taking the temperature. Temperature from where? We are taking the temperature from temperatures, which is this particular list, and then labels, which is coming as a label, which is from here. So it is first zipping it and it is then associating each one with it. So zip we use when we have different sort of list and then we want to pull out one on one correspondingly. Like here 0.1 will go with extremely conservative one, and then we do a calculate result. Then we give the label. Label is what? Label is this one, like extremely conservative. I could have written here first attempt, second attempt, so that we have more clarity. Okay, just a second, Haras. I will just finish this particular explanation. Then I will answer you. So we are here. So 0.01, where I was, yeah. So here the label being what, which particular one we are generating, result, we are taking the generated output, because if I will directly the print the result, it will be sort of what prompt is going. Result has a proper data output format, but we just want the generated text. That's why I have kept it here, generated text, 0 being the index of the generated result output. Okay. So result had multiple elements in it. So if you see the first one, comparing different temperature setting, the first one conservative output 0.01, the meaning of life is not to be confused with the meaning of life. Next, the meaning of life is not to be is to be understood as a life of love and peace. Again, it got into which loop? Repetition loop we were talking about, right? So now below it, the meaning of life, because we had token limit, so it stopped. Now going again to the 0.1 token, if you see, we had given our input was the meaning of life is, up to is only. But here, the meaning of life is not to be confused with the meaning of life. This is same as the above one. The meaning of life is not to be confused with the meaning of life. So if you think, you might think that it is deterministic output is coming. But now, since there was temperature 0.01 and 0.01 means in that particular space, like in these particular token space, if the possibilities are nearby of the next token, it can take any particular one. Top k matters here. If I will make top k 1, then visualize will become the only token. So sampling we have kept it true, but we have not managed it. But if I will make it, let's say 9, then all 9 token will have some possibility of getting selected, be it visualize, see, and stuff like that. So that's why 0.1 temperature came into play, and this time it took another line as a separate line than the previous one. Here the meaning was repeated. Here it is to be understood as came. So it is kind of a replacement of the meaning, and here it has automatically given the new line. Here it is continuing the same line. So sort of it has changed itself, and then it has got into the same repetition loop like earlier, and it is getting the same. Now we have the temperature 0.3. It was 0.01. Here we will see completely changed output. Like here it was the first line was same, but here the meaning of life is not to be determined by number of people who live in it, by the number of completely different sentence. If you see 0.3 temperature, and we have already seen with the same temperature also 0.01, we have somewhat different output. Here with 0.3, we have completely different. If we will change it radical, we are already changing it to 0.7, and the output is coming completely radical, like it is not anymore. Okay, what happened? I have scrolled it. So where is 0.7? Yeah, balance, sort of balance we are saying. Generally in real life cases, we use temperature in means for ChatGPT and stuff. I don't know what ChatGPT internally uses, but for real application, we use temperature in the range of 0.8, 0.9 sort of. So that's why one being the maximum. Creativity only we use when we have story generation, fiction generation, and all sort of some sort of creative space. So balanced 0.7, the meaning of life is life. See here completely different sort of output, where it's kind of went into the philosophical space, where the meaning of life is not to be determined by the number of people, whatever, it was not making sense. But it's kind of a went till here, the meaning of life is life. It's just as real as its own, even though it does not make any sense, but completely radical sentence. One temperature being kind of the range in which we play maximum, although I have already said we can go temperature up to 10, but let me show you. Temperature going 10 will lead to a lot of changes, but it's kind of a scaling which happen. You will see after one, After one, it was like 37% and stuff, but these got a scaled 4-5% to 10. So it's kind of a, each one getting a scale to a particular scale where all are coming very nearby. And then top K is letting us decide that make 9 will come or some will come. Then top P also we can take what is the threshold of it. Ah, creative one. Notice how temperature equal to more creative and random output. Like here in the final one, the randomly you can say the death of a child when she is old. Does not make any sense. The animal may be born into death in sickness or disease at any time after she has been born. Completely random or dynamic, or we can say creative output. That's why temperature does. You can play with it. You can change the temperature. You can try to do other sort of thing. Now we can try to generate short story, but we have already seen that GPT-2 is not great at meaningful to meaningful or human wise understanding sentence. But here a a story generation, I think this was explicitly mentioned in your one syllabus. Just give me a second. Generating text with GPT-2, this much was mentioned there. So here what we are doing is that we are starting sort of a mystical line once upon a time, just like a story. So many of you might have role playing that we tell LLM in the prompt engineering space, a thing called role playing comes. So whenever we start a line like a particular style and stuff, the LLM kind of a next word generation, it copies the same sort of line, just like role playing and stuff. So since this particular line starts just like a story wise, once upon a time a young engineer student discovered a mysterious AI. The AI could be, let's say for us, if we are able to do successful anything, the singularity for us. Printing a short story, this was a prompt. The AI could be prompt, and we have given new line so that it understand that okay, it can generate in the new line. Okay, going into the maximum, here we have increased the maximum token to 200. Earlier we were keeping less, 100, 160. Here we had kept it 60 only, above 120 we had kept it. Here we have increased it. Now one only sample we want. So here temperature we have kept it 0.85, which I had told now that generally we play in that particular tweak. If we have to keep get completely random story, we will do it one sort of. Then we do it that here is the story, like let's see what. Once upon a time a young entrepreneur discovered a mysterious AI. The AI could help him in his endeavors and in return promised to let him learn from his mistakes. After the AI however made it a target for an experiment, the young after the AI, see the sentence is getting random, but at the same time till here the story is somewhat making sense. The young engineer who was part of the experiment used the AI experience to find a new way to help him find his new way, blah, blah, blah. Story sort of completely goes on. Now, those of you who are already doing it, any sort of explanation you need, any sort of error you have faced, you can ask me in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. You can ask like that. If we give him a true. So see, when I will be answering the Hers question, this thing will come. Why such things happened, like especially like this. So means especially the emoji, because there is also a relation with these particular things with the ASCII. Like if you guys know that ASCII is what representation. So each particular alphabet was, everything in computer is bits and binary. You know, right? 0 1 0 1 representation of 0 1. So each particular alphabet, 1 what and everything under the hood, it comes down to 0 1, whatever, W being some. If you remember the ASCII, I don't exactly remember now, but the capital alphabet, W might come somewhere near 100, or let's say the capital might come somewhere 60 and a small might near come 100 or 120, something like that. W, we can search the ASCII alphabet. Yes, A65, A small 95. So similarly like that, you can just for a capital, you can just add 20, the word position of the W in the alphabet series. I think TR used to be 18 or T20, so it will be 24, 25. And then you can just add in the 65, you will have W. So all these things come into the picture. And since emojis have a lot higher ASCII and UTF, so those kind of gets predicted. Let's try in this one, transform architecture, that what if I give here a particular emoji, and let's see what is the next one which gets let's tokenize it. It will be interesting use case for us also. See, So it is here taking as a question mark because it is not taking UTF means emoji encoding. Emoji encoding is what? UTF-8 sort of supports in emoji. Right. So that's why it is completely taking the possibility. Here we are saying question mark. We are not saying what particular this is, what is the possibility of 6 point. But you can see that everything is emoji only. The next possibility, highly emoji is coming. The possibility of token ID 47249. So that's why, as you were saying, Siddhi, that emoji generating happens a lot. And this is the repetition loop also, as I said that the repetition loops come into the picture. We already saw. Since this transformer explanation does not take into the emoji encoding into the picture, that's why we are not able to see the question mark emoji being replaced. Okay. So that was it for this particular session. You can try text generation. It is very easy to try, means what you have learned optional. So you can do different temperature. See, basic core wise, na, things are these only. The whenever you will be going to that particular book also, which I had suggested, LLM by Scratch, if the yeah LLM from scratch, build a large language model, you will be seeing the same. You will be taking a story, you will be converting the story into tokens using a embedding model, perhaps byte pair in encoding or other sort of models. Then you will be training the transformer architecture, and while generation you will be tweaking or understanding these particular parameters only. Understood? Now one question Siddhi has on means why token. Okay, let not Siddhi. Hers had question that why translating a sentence. Let me read it. So this is same question partially. I have read it completely. So why? So there is just now I was mentioning about byte pair encoding and stuff, right? So while mentioning ASCII, if you have to understand it, the values, like if I will search the UTF-8 encoding ASCII values of Japanese text, the character numbers will be high. Japanese character. So let's say where it starts. It starts with somewhere. Okay, I should have converted into 41 in hex. Hex is what? 16. So in binary means in the base 10 we were talking about in binary. I should have not given in base 10 number. Let me search and see from where it starts. Japanese. See the so there are in the Japanese, although I'm not completely into the Japanese, but what I am able to little bit remember on the Japanese text, that there are two types of Japanese text. One represents the internal things where Japanese language they represent, and then what whenever they have to represent other outside things, they use like konnichiwa or konnichiwa is hello means katakana. I'm not able to completely recall. Hiragana and katakana are two sort of things or stuff you will see. You 227 you are seeing. So what happened is that under the hood you are taking more ASCII also, but at the same time your tokenizer is also optimized for English sort of sentence only, because at the end inside everything is happening binary operations, right? So for this particular one, whatever the token size you might have defined or tokenizer it might have, it is already by default optimized for English also, and a lot size it has to take, character byte length and space wise it has to take for Japanese character and other language character. For Hindi also it will happen the same ways, like this one hiragana and stuff. More bytes might be required to represent the this particular thing, Japanese characters. So since Japanese character more bytes are required, so in a particular token being optimized for English, soon enough the token will for a particular word the token will be, the word will have to be segregated into two tokens, which leads it to let's say that your name is in whose name it was, Hers, Hers power. So your name is in Japanese, in English it is taking 1 byte. Okay, but if in Japanese, since its character has more UTF means ASCII values, and in the base 10 and stuff, it is taking 2 byte. Now for token, if tokenizer is taking, let's say the tokenizer size is 2 and stuff, it is dividing hers, it might divide your, I have written in the English character here, but let's do here, let's represent this by hers. So it might have to do in 2 bytes, which will lead to the twice the tokens it has to do for it, and which leads to that let's say Japan is having 50-60% more token consumption than the English. So I will say now, I will just tell you a simple presumption that except English, whichever language of the world you take, it will be more sort of token consumption for generating the same amount of text. Let's and I we can even search this particular proposition and ask. So you remember while creation of the image we had searched, so we have got this particular one. If you see the image that okay, this is not completely true, means exact one, because I was saying on teams I think it understood as a effective teamwork, not as a teams. I should have said it, whatever. But we can ask it a preposition. Let's say our assumption we give it, is it true that except english most of the languages, the LLM generation will take more tokens than same amount of in let's say information in, is it true that except English most of the language LLM generation will take more tokens than information generation in English? Now let me tell you one caveat to it. What is that? Let's say that in English we say how are you, so that becomes 4 sort of words, like how are you, 3 words. And in Hindi we say kaisa hai. So still some languages might have compression technique, like we convey a lot things in just minimum words, but that means we can express in minimum words multiple things. So that can also happen. I am not sure about Japanese, so that can also lead to this sort of thing happening, means opposite thing happening, that in English it will take more token for that particular emotion to generate. Let's say that a sentence that I have to say chalta hai in English, and there is no particular exact definition for chalta hai, then what I will write in English, I might write a definition, or I might write a kind of a phrase where we consider thing work. We just assume whatever the things are working in that particular fashion without it being. See, my explanation is getting long, but in English, Hindi, we can represent by a single 2 word that chalta hai. That lead to less number of token in Hindi generation. That can also happen, but so that I will give a proposition in English, except I will write that particular thing, except in cases where same concept need, okay, leave it, let's see what it answers. Rather than we will now your question also had a thing, is it because of chain of thought? Chain of thought is a technique for LLM to think, or to give us a step by step answer, means a kind of a sequential building of final output answer instead of it giving direct output answer. I had already shown you here in Olama. So this thing is different. This thing is a reasoning based model. It is by default in the architecture of model training, it will reason. So let's say what it gives answer. Short answer, not always. It depends. Token usage come in the by tokenizer and language writing morphology. So some language will often use more token than equivalent English sentences. Some will use few. Many will be similar. So tokenizer, I was again and again mentioning about what? BPE, byte pair in encoding, right? So tokenizer is split text into subwords unit. We have seen if a language words are broken into many subwords, token goes up. If character map directly to token, script orthography languages are written without spaces often use single character that carry more meaning. I was just now saying about this proposition, except like chalta hai, I said na, that if less number of characters are taking more meaning, it will be token efficient. And then highly inflated languages like create long word form composed of many tokenizers. Let's see here, compounding languages like German, tokenizer, vocabulary. Let's test out one assumption which I had told you. Does the presumption that, let's say, for same word with same meaning, the character byte length in English representation will be more efficient than in other languages which have which have higher UTF, let's say 8 because 8 support emoji also, encoding presentation. So let's see, it can give mostly false, okay, only partially relevant at raw byte level, means under the raw level it will come into the picture that Latin with accent 2 bytes, in emojis 4 byte. You were talking about I think who was talking about emoji, Siddhi, that why I was saying that emoji, see, emoji is taking 4 byte, but this comparison is misleading because 10 bytes, this in Chinese in 9 bytes. So here compression came into the picture. If you see which particular compression, here it was saying the compression which I was saying that when I was writing it I was trying to mention in the except one. So that's what the case. Any other question anyone has, or anyone who was not even able to run it, because our target was at least you are able to generate this much. Other than that, if we want, we can go to the AI studio. I can show you that how powerful we can build complete apps within minutes. Let me show you. So there will be a build section where we can build nano, and I can just describe the ideas and whole apps will be built. See, someone has built app like this, voxel toy box, shader pilot, research visualization and stuff. We can build it completely just by the prompt, but we should be even able to understand the basics under the hood basically. Anyone who is not able to at least do this one, or anyone has further questions on it, anything? Or you guys can give feedback also, like was it too much theoretical oriented, and next although next workshop will be a lot hands-on oriented. The reason being, now most of you will be able to understand under the hood transformer, its hyperparameters. If let's say in the uh, next one we are building a rag architecture and we are increasing the temperature, maximum length and stuff, you will be able to understand it. Anyone has any questions, doubts or anything, you can ask. True, because see, uh, by asking questions only you will be able to get your doubt clear, and even I will be able to get my doubts clear or my conceptions cleared a lot. Like her question was great in that particular sense, that is it because of chain of thought? We can ask it completely just, it is not, because chain of thought is a different mechanism. Like let me show you chain of thought for a second. uh, I had shown, I think, in the Olama one, that when I had said it to add 3 plus 5 in
देखो
chain of
प्रेजेंटेशन
thought.
वैसे भी सुवर्ण मैम को ही चिपकाना है.
Any question, Durvesh? I hope you have an
नहीं
Ashok.
सर, कल राम सर बोल रहे थे कि मेंटर को देना है.
I think you have got.
Durvesh, if you have any question, you please ask properly. Durvesh?
I
Understood
think.
everything. Thank you, sir.
Mhm. See, one thing I will say, that one thing I feel, that transformer architecture inside wise explanation will take time, and for you all to understand it also will take time. So those who are really interested into it, those who want to get understand the under the hood of it, go into it and try to understand how the key value and query metrics all dot operation happens, then scaling happens, because the see, this is the formula which it is showing in the visualization now, and how the output comes, and finally we have some of the tokens which have higher probability, then we calculate soft max on that particular probability to take the output of the next word based on the vocabulary and stuff. So those who are interested in the technical depth. Other than that, you guys can try like over the hood, many things we can do from the agentic space. Many tools are there which can give you complete application with just your prompt. Like many of you might have heard of Replicate is an initially it was a website where we used to run sort of compile an online IDE website and for collaboration as well. Now it has completely transformed into a website where we can just write idea and the answer will come. Yeah, Durves. So as I was mentioning, Replit is there. Many of you might have heard of Lovable. Bolt is there. Then there is Cloud Code. Although this is subscription based, some of you might have heard about Cloud Code. This is terminal based software. It's free alternative. Go with Gemini CLI. Download it in your system. Give it access to your particular folder, and you can just ask it to build something. It will be able to build it. You guys can give me feedback also that based on which I can tune or tweak my next workshop, how it should be, what I should improve upon, what I should change. Even ma'am, Suvarna ma'am and others, Geeta, Man, Mansavi and Sneha ma'am all can give me feedback. I can tweak on it for the next workshop. Anyone not able to do this particular part, whatever I have shown in the notebook, must ask now because this is very basic. I have kept it completely basic for the first one. Next one can go into the depth where we can build the fine tuning. We can do fine tuning, and I will next time not try to just do on the notebook, but I will also try to do in the local system. For those who are interested in the GPU, either I can do on the notebook and give you guidance for the local. We can have a model, a small model, which we can fine tune through mechanisms like QLoRa and stuff. Build a RAG pipeline. We can do fine tuning on medical because medical also students are here. So some sort of medical data set we can download and then do fine tuning on top of it. You guys can give feedback. Otherwise, session is complete. Anything you're not understood, still welcome to ask, or anything you want in deeper explanation or anything.
Yes, thank you, sir. Bhagyashri, you can take it over the session.
As we conclude today's session, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Bhaskar Jha for sharing his valuable time and expertise with us. A special thanks to Professor Geeta ma'am, Professor Swarna ma'am, and our HOD Dr. Gajanan Nagre sir for their continuous guidance and support. Thank you to all the participants for their active engagement throughout the session. We look forward to meeting you again on Saturday, 24th January for session 2. Before we end, please make sure to fill out the feedback form. The link has been shared in the chat section. Your feedback is very important to us and help us make the future sessions even better. Thank you once again and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thanks, Bhagyasri. Thanks, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much. We can now end the session.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Yes, thank you.